Hello, and welcome to the Art of Intuition podcast. My name is Susan Jane, and I believe that trusting your intuition is the best way to live your life with meaning and purpose. Each week you will hear about how you can connect, develop, and trust your intuition through interviews with other guests and my own personal experiences. Join me to understand how your intuition can guide you towards a life full of meaning and loving purpose. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Art of Intuition. I'm Susan Jane, your host for the podcast, and I am very excited. I have had a pretty tough week, to say nicely, and it's really wonderful how spirit can bring the people that you need at the times when you need them. So I've had a couple of ladies talking about other situations. I think I've got another one talking about relationships. But today we have got the lovely Evelien Van Ees. Now, Evelien does about authenticity. And this was one of the things that I was struggling with. You know, you go through those stages where you're just not sure what we're doing and how we're doing it. And sometimes you feel like you're a bit of an imposter. We go through the imposter syndrome. But Evelien is going to actually go through a few different things about this. Now, she's written a book, and look, she's right up there as far as business and life coaching. We're going to talk about that towards the end. But no, I'm not going to actually introduce her properly. I am going to just read out what she has written to me, and you're going to love this. Hang on, let me put this in front. Okay. It is her passion and mission in life to inspire and set her audience and clients in motion to transform their lives and feel the inner power of being and focus on what really matters. Evelien is keen on helping her clients achieve tangible results from the heart that last a lifetime. She works with both entrepreneurs and senior managers that feel somewhat stuck and are often in search of fulfillment. How beautiful is that? I just loved it when I saw that. So I had to share that with you. So with no further ado, I want to welcome onto the podcast the lovely Evelien. Welcome, Evelien.
Thank you so much, Susan, for this lovely introduction, and I love it. And it's really a joy to hear you speak out the introduction, because that gives me goosebumps. So that's correct, because then there's something right there.
So I know it's funny because people have done that to me, and they've sort of spoke about me, and you sort of go, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
I didn't think of it like that, but yes, I just love the way that was put, the way it was written, and I thought the audience would really enjoy that. But we want to know more about you. What makes you here? What puts you here in this space? Why?
Yeah, well, life has been pretty much of a journey, a discovery journey, to remember actually who I truly am. I'm actually based in the Netherlands, so I'm over in Europe, just a little bit south of Amsterdam. And after my 20-year corporate career, where I did a lot of stuff, and I was really focused on building my career and using a lot of my willpower to create a life that I thought was the life that I was supposed to live. And it took me a couple of years later that I realized that I was not using the creativity that I have deep within me. And as you just mentioned in the introduction, working with people to help them to really get a grip and see what their unique inner power of being is, that was really what my own journey was all about, to step out of that corporate world and to find a way how I could do the work that I truly love, but that also gives me fulfillment, that really gives me a feeling that I'm contributing to the bigger whole. So that's really what my journey, in just a couple of words, was all about. And it was a step by step trying to find a way to find answers. And in the beginning I was really looking for answers outside of myself, but they're all within you. And
Yeah.
all questions that we have are within us. And that's something, maybe we don't want to hear that, but it truly is the fact.
But that's a huge step, Evelyn, going from a 20-year corporate um, career and look, the secure. I mean, I know it's hard, everything else, but it's the security behind the finances and all that aspect. I mean, if somebody's feeling that way at the moment, what was that catalyst to make you leave that and start to venture out on your own?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a two-step road because in 2006, which is 15 years ago, I started still working. I was still working in that corporate environment, but I started continuing my career as an independent consultant, as an independent interim manager. So that means that you do not really have the financial security. And you are independent, but not completely free because you're still working for certain assignments that you have. You're extremely dedicated. I was still in leading positions, so I was leading a team. And but it took me another 9 years until the very beginning of 2015 when my partner back then got sick with cancer. And that really was my wake-up call when I realized that I didn't want to waste any more time doing something where I thought it was okay, but it wasn't great. And I knew that it was not really nurturing my soul. And that feeling of emptiness and that nagging feeling, there must be something else out there, that was really bothering me. And I thought, this is the time that I have to do something about it because I don't want to waste any more time. And I could see how precious life was at that moment. And so that was really a big gift. It was really a wake-up moment for me that I'm extremely grateful for, because otherwise I might have, continued on for a couple of years before I did take that leap. So for any of the listeners that are in a situation there, we all have situations, and for some it's something small, for others it's something really big and life-changing. But we all are presented with these, little triggers that are potential wake-up calls for us. And so I think that's really something important for you to learn to open up and to really see what is out there. And the only way you can do that actually is by slowing down and not, living your life and continuously just speeding up, because then you're not able to see it. And you probably know it really well, Susan, because you're, with your intuition, it's your intuition speaks to you in a certain way, and you have to open up and to take some quiet time to learn to see it and really feel it.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to reiterate what you were saying. So you had this catalyst. You actually started to wean down from your work and started to get an understanding of what that looked like. And then the catalyst sort of came in that your partner got cancer, and that starts to look. It's these things, these big moments in our life that we feel are so dramatic and so tough and so hard, but they just allow us to really just flip our whole world, don't they?
Absolutely. And in the moment itself, it's really intense, and you have a lot of emotions. But within just a split second, in 2 days, I decided to quit doing interim work, and I opened up my coaching business. I took on a coach, and I started doing that because I really felt like while being in that process of dealing with the situation, it felt so it felt like freedom. It felt like purpose for me to really do something where I felt that I was creating meaning in my own life. And so that combination, looking back, it might have been crazy timing, but it was perfect for me, because I could really feel that I was contributing to my own development and growth, and also reaching out and being able to help others. So I started working with entrepreneurs and really helping them to get to the core of their being, so they could build their business on a foundation of authenticity. And I think that's what we really need. We need more people that build their businesses and their career by being authentic, by being unique. And that is beyond ego, beyond personality, but really getting to the core and to see your spirit within. And I
So
think,
that's what you're saying authenticity is seeing our spirit within. Like how can people understand whether they're actually living authentically? How can we dumb those words down and sort of get a real grip or get a real understanding of
yeah,
what that means?
yeah, and that is a really good question. But I think that you know it when you're there. You know it when you're walking a path in life where you truly are living the life that is close to what your spirit is all about. And people that are really caught up in big egos tend to really be, difficult for them to be that observer and to really see what they're doing, how they're acting, what the impact of that is. But people that are, living a life where, of course, we all have our egos somehow, and not all of our ego really is bad. And actually, I speak about it in my book, even in one chapter. But it's learning to really see yourself and to listen to the words you speak about yourself, the words you speak about others, the thoughts you think about yourself. Because I think that's also an example, is that so many of us are so rude in the way we think about ourselves, of how we speak about ourselves, and words that we wouldn't even dare to speak out to someone else if we would honestly do that. And
Yeah.
still we're being so, I think we're the biggest enemy, that's ourselves, that's us. And I think is that it really is important, talking about authenticity, to learn to be that observer and to see how you live your life, and to be able to kind of unravel the different patterns that you have created in your life, and to understand why you do that. And we all have triggers because of things that we've been through in the past. That's just part of life. But I think that when we understand that these triggers are present, and when they arise in our life, that we can make a deliberate, heartfelt choice not to let us be led by that pattern or whatever that triggers, but to make a different choice. So it is all about training yourself to really look at yourself and what you do, what you think, what you speak, and to notice it. And the only way you can do that is by slowing down. And that's what I do with my clients, is that, every word they speak, I act as their mirrors. Like, did you hear what you just said? And I just sometimes repeat the words. And then when they hear that, I think like, oh, what did I just say? But it's so simple. It's the thoughts and the words that are extremely important and that are leading for our actions. And I think that if we want to change that, just train yourself and surround yourself with people that allow you to look into who you truly are, and that is and allow yourself to be relentlessly yourself. Because it's also, so many people are so afraid of the consequences of the things that they say. For example, being in a relationship, so many people just do not speak up about what they truly feel or they think, because they're afraid that the other one will, and then they fill it in because they have a certain script about it in their mind. But what if you turn it around and just allow yourself to be completely who you are, in respect to others, but just to speak up? And that is so liberating if you can do that and not be afraid of any consequences of what you say. And that is also part of being authentic, is that taking up your space, occupying your space, and being who you are, and loving yourself, and loving life, and loving every human being, everything that has energy. That's what life is all about.
So let me just go back over your area here. So to start with, you said to be the observer and to become more self-aware. So that's when you're saying that people just need to have a little bit more time and a little bit more space to understand who they are. Is that what you mean? And to observe what they're doing or where they're going without judgment?
Yes. And Yeah, and it can be really simple. It can be, for example, if you go out for a walk and maybe you run into someone that says hi, or maybe someone that doesn't say hi. So what happens to you?
Oh, I've lost you. Oh my goodness, I've lost connection with her. Oh no, hang on, let me see if I can get her back. Oh, I was just so much enjoying that. Just bear with me, folks. I am going to see if she can come back to me. She has got the link. Oh, yeah, are you back? Yeah, she's coming back. Oh, she's back.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, but I can.
And I couldn't work out what was going on.
I know, but I know where I was. I was just explaining, like, sometimes, when you go out for a walk and you run into someone and that maybe that person doesn't say hi or whatever, and then observing yourself in what do you maybe judge that person for maybe not saying hi, or what happens? These are just really small examples that we can use to learn and to train ourselves to be that observer, and at the same time to look at others with compassion and be gentle to others, but also to ourselves, because you don't know what the other person, what has happened in their lives, or what is on their mind. And these are just really small examples how you can train yourself.
Absolutely. Another one too, Evelien, that I've looked at is that when you talk about the triggers, things that trigger us, and we will find like they will trigger us in, like I said, different relationships, or maybe it's happening at home and then it happens at work, or the different areas that we live in. But one of the ways that I've noticed when I get triggered is I will automatically take on. Oh, she's gone again. I'll keep talking and she'll come back. I automatically take on this, like this emotion. So I have this trigger and it creates an emotion. And as it's created that emotion, that's when I start to go, hang on, why are you feeling that way? What has triggered you to do that? What has triggered you to feel that way? And that was one of the ways that I started to become more aware of how I was feeling and what was going on. It's easy to sort of say, well, you've got to be more mindful of who you are or what you're feeling, or give yourself space and give yourself time. But when you're giving yourself space and you're giving yourself time, you've got to be looking for those triggers. You've got to be looking for those aha moments, those little aspects of us that come through. And Evelien hasn't come back yet, so I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. She has got, while she's coming back on to me, she is in Holland and I am in Australia. So we could have a little bit of issue here. This is the first time it's happened, though, since I've been doing the podcast. So that's a little bit disappointing, but she'll be back. She does have a free book on her, like a free ebook on her website, and it's called The 11 Key Insights for Successful Business Owners. Okay, so you can grab a free copy of that that little ebook that she's got on her website, and her website is www.evelienvanees. Now I'm going to spell it out so you can get it. It's Evelien, and then Van, VAN, and then SES.com/EN. So she's back. I was just thinking, you're a little bit blurry on there, so you may still go out again, but I've just told them all about your free book on your website. I've got a few things I can fill in, so that's okay. That's really good. And my little tidbit was all about, you're saying give yourself the space and give yourself time. When I'm giving myself the space and the time, it's often because I've had a trigger, and the trigger, something's happened, triggered an emotion, and I go, well, why am I feeling like that? And that's that opportunity then to go, all right, time and space. Why are you doing that? What has triggered that feeling? What's that triggered that emotion? And most of the time, I don't even need to go any further than that. I'm just being aware that it's been triggered. And then you get aware of it quicker and quicker each time, and the triggers actually stop. Or slow down.
Yeah, and I love that what you say, and it really is about realizing that we can continuously in life make a decision to rewrite the script that we've created because of experience that we've had in the past. And I think that whenever you hear yourself speak about something, I don't like this because that and that and that, think about it in a different way, how you can really look at it from a different angle, and to see how that script that you've created in the past because of some experiences, how that is leading for future experiences, because that's a choice and you can choose differently. And I think that once you understand that game, actually it's more or less like a game, that you can understand how you can play with that. I think that really is magic, how you can constantly, at every single moment during the day, how you can change your script, and that change that experience that you have in the here and now, how you feel about the situation, about yourself. And I think that really is magic, once you get to that point where you really get a grip on that.
Absolutely. And another one, and as I said in the introduction, like I've had a challenging week, to put it nicely. But one of the things that, and when you're talking about that, one of the things that I was doing to get myself through it and to get myself clear of it, so I wasn't like wallowing in self-pity, was to keep on saying, what are you focusing on? What are you focusing on? And so if I started going down that negative pathway, I'd go, what are you focusing on? Oh, okay. No, I'm focusing on my business now. I'm focusing on how I'm going to help people with intuition. And then I'd go back down to this little negative stuff. And then I'd go, what are you focusing on? And bring myself back. And it was just a real easy way to sort of go, bring yourself back in, stop going there. And like you say, it's our choice.
Absolutely. Yeah. And once you get to know yourself better, you know exactly what you need to charge your battery. For example, for me, it really works well. And that's what I did this morning. I go out and I take a walk and I'm in nature. And that really is just a wonderful way for me to stay aligned with my spirit, and to feel wonderful, and to lift up my own energy. And there's so many different ways how you can do that. I love to do writing. I love to be outdoors. And there's so many things that I know that can really help me. And so that's also something. Know for yourself what it is that you need to get yourself back into energy. And for example, even in days when I'm I'm a bit tired, or I don't feel the energy, at the moment I'm doing a lot of speaking on my book, and every single time I get on it and I can feel it. It just really gives me energy, and it doesn't matter, because then, the other energy is just gets out of the way. And so, it when you're on track, it when you do something that is what you're supposed to do. So the same as I have found my way in life now with the work that I do, the mission that I have in touching people's life to really make a change that is everlasting in this particular life, that this gives me a feeling of fulfillment, and I'm supposed to do this. And that's, such a big contrast with stuff that I've done in the past. And, of course, the people that I was leading and the people that I was managing, that was wonderful what I could do in their lives, but there were so many things on the side that were just not it, and it. So I think that every single listener, if you're truly honest with yourself, then it.
Yeah. And that's when you are being authentic, isn't it? When you're feeling that, the way you just described it was so beautifully described. That's being authentic. It feels so good. It feels so rewarding, and so, I don't know, inspiring. You just feel so good. You're being authentic. That your spirit is in love with what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, now I just want to pop this on. We've got a little ticker tape going past for those on the podcast. I just want to go through this because Evelien is sharing her secrets about living authentically and creating personal and business happiness. So remember, you can get onto her website and have a look at that. I will put it in the comments at the bottom too, so we can go there. But what I want to do now is we've talked about how you've got to where you've gone. We've talked about your story and where it's going and everything else. What I want to talk about is what you're doing now and where you're going to, because we haven't talked about We've talked about your free book, ebook, but we
Yeah.
haven't talked about the book that you have written and
Yeah.
about your business. So I'd love you to share. I'm going to get
Yeah.
off the screen. I'd love you to remember we've got people listening, so you've got to talk, not just show pictures.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, what I do is actually last year, COVID year, was the year that I started writing my book. And as I always say, writing a book, starting to write a book really isn't a rational decision. A book wants to be written through you. And that's what happened. And COVID hit in, and it was wonderful weather. So I spent many, many, many weeks and even months writing with my laptop in the garden, and it was wonderful. And so that's the birth of my book, Be Relentlessly Yourself and Take on Life. And I wrote this as a gift for people to really take a deep dive in their own life and to understand life, to understand themselves better. So I speak about many topics. I share a lot of stories to really get out there and to let you get into the feeling of what it really is to be relentlessly yourself, because it is about self-love. It's about embracing life. It's about understanding your emotions. It's understanding your ego. And so it also has exercises in the book. So it really is a self-help book. I published it also in Dutch. It's available in 2 languages. Be Relentlessly Yourself. And actually, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, but also people that are still on a career path within the corporate world. And it's applicable for every single person, because it's actually everyone that is curious about life, that is in a state of awakening, that understands that there is more to life than just, working morning to end of the day and just living week by week, weekend to weekend, vacation to vacation, but people that are really curious to understand themselves and life better, and to give meaning to life, and to really live a life of fulfillment. And for me, this process of this book was so beautiful to do. And sometimes I look at the book and I'm even surprised about how I did it, but I understand that it was just such a flow of inspiration. And so what I'm doing now, I'm reaching out to people all over the world to be able to read the book, to be able to do that inner work that can be so life-changing if you really seriously work on it, and surround yourself with people that are that inspiration for you, and people that allow you to be relentlessly yourself. And I think that there is also some pain in my past where I have surrounded myself with people where I did not feel that position that I could be relentlessly myself. And I think that really is the biggest change in my own life, that I have so many beautiful people in my environment now that allow me to be relentlessly myself. And I don't want it any other way.
Yes.
That's really what it is.
Yeah. Okay. It's that you haven't shown the picture. I want to see the picture. Come
Yes,
on.
here it is.
There. I've got
Here's
some
the
full
book.
screen.
Yes, here's the book, and actually, this is the Dutch one. I'll just show it. I know that oops. Here's the Dutch one. Here's the English one, and the English one is about 300 pages. But lovely food during the maybe the holidays. So.
So walk us through the book a little bit. So it takes us through it's a self-help, but is it taking us through some steps? Is it about, we've got a little bit of an understanding of you and then where we go?
Yes, what it is, it's a book that has actually 5 parts. The first part is about reflections. And so I'm reflecting on being relentlessly yourself more in general. And in a second chapter actually is called 11 Souls, 11 Reflections. So I interview 11 people around the world about being relentlessly in themselves and taking on life. And what I loved about these interviews, that some people work, for example, in the banking industry in a career, other people are a neurologist that works in a hospital, but also a shaman, someone that is a psychic. So people that are on the spiritual level, extreme, opposites to each other, but it's so interesting to hear how they look at it, how they look at being relentlessly themselves. And then in the second part actually is letting go of what holds you back. So I speak about, emotions, anger, joy, sadness, fear, letting go of expectations, about accepting what is, and distancing yourself from what drains you zest in life, zest for life, actually. And then in a third part, I go further into getting to know yourself at a deeper level, about ego, being gentle to yourself, distinguishing truth from reality, and getting closer to yourself and your inner growth. And then in part 4, further deepening your growth, making heartfelt choices. I even speak about loving relationships and many, many, many other topics. And then in the last part, in part 5, I really look at the contribution. So the contribution to the bigger whole of what you do. And you can draft your own personal manifesto. So that really is how the book is built up in 5 different parts. And so that you really, in the end, can create your own personal manifesto as kind of the Bible for yourself, how you live your life and what your life is all about and what your purpose in life is. So, yeah.
Wow, it sounds amazing. And I can get it on Amazon now?
Yes, it's available also in Australia on Amazon. It depends on whatever part in the world you are. Yesterday, I was speaking to someone in the UK who bought it through the local Amazon there, and so people in India and Australia. So it's available on Australia Amazon.
Oh, lovely! Oh, that's amazing. And it's very cathartic writing a book too. I mean, it starts to all sort of flow in, but I just found it quite. Like you said, you just sort of go off in your own little space, and you just. I don't know. Just keep on typing. Type. Yeah. When I wrote my book, I had this same sort of thing, but mine went into way too much detail, crazy detail. And it's obviously I needed that detail, and that was given to me. Didn't need to put it in the book, all of it though. But anyway, we've learnt the lesson. We won't do that one again. But I did get a lot of online courses from it, so there you go.
Well, that's and it's for me, it's quite a thick book, so it has a lot. But what you can do is you can also choose to go back and read certain chapters that are really applicable to where you're at right now. And that's what people that have read it said. It's such a rich book with so much content. And, whenever they feel like they need to read over about something that, maybe they want to let go of, they read that chapter again, and then that's the way it works. So you don't have to read it all. There are different ways how you can read the book. And some people say, I just start with the interviews, and the others say, no, I want to read the rest. And then in the end, that. And so there are different ways how you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what makes it a good book. That's brilliant. All right, we're getting a little bit low on time. I still want to talk about you have got, let me have a quick look. It is Signature for Success. Now, this is all about your business and life coaching, isn't it?
Yeah, well, myself, I started my business 6.5 years ago as a business and life coach, and I created my own coaching method. So in 2018, I created a second business called Signature for Success, and I made my way of working and my own method into a brand. And so I'm also mentoring just a couple of coaches to work with that method, and they're mainly working with people in career paths. And but it's also applicable because the method, the foundation is quite alike, but then you split for people that are more in a career path and the others that are business owners. And so that's, for me, something I've always worked with teams. So I love to work with a team. And you see so many coaches that are doing something out there and they're quite lonely, and they miss the masterminding and being part of a team and really having a mentor that coaches them how to do their business and to be that entrepreneur, same as being a coach, because it's not as difficult to be a good coach, but it's being that combination of getting out there and finding business and finding a team and having impact. And so that's something I do on the side also, to work with that team, and that's a huge joy, because I love to work with clients, but I also really enjoy to be able to mentor and to really give that gift to others and help them, to guide them, and how they can really help others to go deep and to create clarity, and from there on translate it into their, you know, their whatever their business is. And so that's that. I love working with a team, and I really hope to further build up on that in the future.
Okay, so if people want to contact you, as far as, hang on, let me put the right little ticker tape up. So people want to contact you as far as life coaching or business coaching, or just want to have a chat with you or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
They can connect with you. Oh, now you connected with me on LinkedIn.
Yes.
So I popped LinkedIn on there. You are probably on Facebook. I would imagine you're on Facebook. I just didn't have that one. Whereas because we connected through LinkedIn, I thought that was a nice way of actually putting that out there for you. So it's Evelien, Evelien Van Es, E-S, just E-S-E-N. Or you've got your email too, which is contact@evelienvanes.com. So you can contact and connect with Evelien that way, and she can help you with that. Remember, she's got her free book too. Where was that little free ebook? I'm going to pop that up on there. So just a quick, tell us a little bit about this one, 11 Key Insights for Successful Business Owners.
Yes.
What's that one?
That was actually pretty recently. I created a new ebook, and that really is for people to give them some insights on what things are really key. Looking back at my lessons learned and the clients that I work with. So it's available. You can sign up through my website, and you can get it and read it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You know, I also have complimentary strategy sessions, 30 minutes online, and I love to work with people all over the world. It's not limited to any country, because the topics that I work with are so universal. And it's of course you have the cultural influences, but at the same time, I think that's really we're all, you know, a child of the universe, and I think that if we all look at it from that perspective, it's that's where I have my mission. So everyone is very welcome to reach out, and I'm happy to hear.
Lovely. Oops, I'm talking and I'm not on the screen, so you wouldn't hear me. That's wonderful. Thank you for that. Is there anything else you want to bring forward before we close? Because we're getting towards the end now.
Yeah. Well, I think I mentioned just a couple of tips throughout the maybe kind of to sum it up. We talked about, you know, to train yourself and to be that observer and to become more self-aware, and I think that really is important. I talked about slowing down, how important it is to do that, to be able to be that observer, but also to create your own rhythm, and to surround yourself with people that really nurture you and help you and allow you to be relentlessly themselves, and actually people that invite you to be completely who you truly are, beyond the ego, beyond personality. And do not be afraid to invest in personal development, because I think that what I mentioned before is when I took that step into the business that I run now, is I really invested a lot. And I did that because I wanted to quickly grow. And so investing in your personal development is especially for service-based entrepreneurs, the best investment that you can do. But actually it is for every single person. And I think last and not least is trust yourself, you know, trust life, and always choose love and trust over fear, because fear is not part of your spirit, because your spirit doesn't know fear.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. That was so good. I really enjoyed it. And I was going to go back over those tips again because you've got them there. But yeah, you've done that. That was amazing. So guys, don't forget to connect. I'll have it all down there on the podcast at the bottom of the, in the comments part. I'll have your email and everything down there. But we do have to go. We're running out of time. I want to thank you so much again for being on the podcast. And grab the book. Be relentless yourself. Yes, grab the book. Yeah, I'm going to grab the book.
Thank you, Susan.
So much.
Yes, thank you for letting me share my story. Thank you very much.
No worries. Okay. Oh, that was brilliant. I get so much enjoyment out of having these lovely ladies coming on to the podcast, and that, like I said, they just seem to come at the right time. they say the right things. It's just, I just love it. We are so lucky. And when Evelien said about getting a coach, or actually investing in yourself, in your personal development, I couldn't agree anymore. I couldn't agree high enough, because having a coach, having somebody like her, like a few of the ladies I've brought on, if you connect with these type of people, connect with them, send them an email. That's what they're here for. That's what they come on the show for. So you can get to know them a little bit more, and you can get to understand what they do and how they do it. So please do that. Connect with her. And I've got to say goodbye because I'm now talking too long, like normal. Guys, you can subscribe, do what we need to do, all that. And I'm going to say bye for now because I'm talking too much. All right, guys, see you next week. Bye.